Dan Willis here, and we're talking about capital management services. Now, this is a large, aggressive, third-party debt collection agency. They're headquartered in Buffalo, New York, and they service and collect upon a variety of types of consumer debt all over the nation, including charge-off debt, auto loans, telecommunication, defaulted student loans, and more. They're reported to work with a number of different companies, including Capital One, Citibank, Discover, PNC Bank, and AT&T, among others. In addition to this, they're also what the industry calls a late stage debt collector or a junk debt collector. In other words, they may have purchased the rights to your account, your debt, from yet another debt collector. And the first item on our agenda is the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, the FDCPA. This is federal legislation passed intended to regulate the debt collection industry. There's rules on them as well, and it's worth your review at your convenience. But in short, debt collectors are required to be honest, straightforward, not deceptive, in addition to giving you that modicum of respect and dignity that every human being deserves. Now, the most common concern for folks when they discover they have debt in collections is, will paying off this debt, these collections, CMS's collection, will that help and will that improve your credit? And it makes sense, but let us share what FICO says, and we quote, "The fact that you have collections listed on your credit report will almost certainly lower your FICO score." They go on to say, so whether or not you pay your collections off is really a personal decision. That's what FICO says. And you see, the only thing that happens when you just pay off debt in collections and nothing more is a change in the status of a change in the status of that item on your credit report. It goes from an unpaid collection to a paid collection. But a paid collection is still a negative, damaging, derogatory item that's going to lower your credit score. Anthony Sprav, a spokesman for FICO, says collections on your credit report can damage and drag your score down by as much as 100 points. You see, the key to fixing and improving your credit is to remove these dings, these blemishes, these negative items from your credit report, because that's what's damaging and dragging your credit score down. And for some folks, after first performing the necessary due diligence, which we're sharing here and will be in the next video, so of course subscribe and join our congregation. For some folks, after first performing the necessary due diligence and following the steps in these videos, they may discover that it's in their best interest and their credit scores and credit reports' best interest, and the most effective and efficient way to clean up and get this item off of your credit report is to pay it off. If you'd like some help, you can get a free credit consultation by calling toll-free 1-877-418-7596. Now, the collection methods. What can capital management services actually do to collect this debt? In addition to the phone calls, in addition to the threatening letters, they're also going to report negative information on your credit report. And in addition to that, it's very likely that they're going to inflate your total balance, that debt. They're going to inflate it by charging you high interest rates, and believe it or not, they can legally even charge you collection fees. And these aren't insignificant collection fees. These are significant, sizable collection fees. If they're unable to collect payment, they have two options. The first one is they can sell the rights to your account to yet another late stage junk debt collector, who of course will then begin calling you, sending you threatening letters, and they're going to report more negative information on your credit report. Or alternatively, and this is a lot better, more likely result of what they'll do if they're unable to collect payment, is they'll sue you. They'll file a civil lawsuit against you. Late stage debt collectors and junk debt collectors practice this method with regularity. Their goal is to win a judgment against you, because then they've really got you by the short and curlies. Depending on your state of residence, because every state has unique laws, judgments can potentially result in wage garnishment, liens being placed against you and or your property, and even asset seizure. Not to mention, if you get stuck with a judgment on your credit report, that will annihilate your credit score and your credit worthiness. If you'd like some help, you can get a free credit consultation by calling toll-free 1-877-418-7596. Now, the first place for every individual and consumer dealing with any debt collector is to first request debt validation on your account. You see, since we didn't do services, or didn't, excuse us, since we didn't do business directly with capital management services, they just popped up out of the woodwork demanding that we pay them money. When we request debt validation, we're saying, hey, capital management services, you first prove this is actually my debt. Prove that it's legit. Show me the details. Show me who the original creditor was. Show me the necessary information. This is your right as a consumer under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, and it's most effective if you make your request in writing and send it certified mail with return receipt requested. That way you'll have evidence that you made your validation request and that they received it. You see, they're required to respond by providing you with the paperwork, the documents, and the evidence that does prove this your debt. This is your debt. And if they fail to validate your debt for any reason, even if they don't have their paperwork in order, then that debt, in compliance with the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, it's legally forgiven. Further, they're supposed to contact all three of the credit bureaus to have them remove that collection listing from your credit report because it's messing up your credit score. If you'd like some help, you can get a free credit consultation by calling toll-free 1-877-418-7596. Now, the last item here in this video is how old is your debt? And what we're talking about here is the statute of limitations, which is a state law and it does vary. So for full details, investigate your local legislation. Generally, the statute of limitations, that's the legal time window for which you're legally responsible for payment of that debt. And generally, it's about 7 years from the last date of account activity. Once that time window expires and runs out, then your legal obligation has ended. And beware, one of the most notorious, debt collectors, and especially late stage and junk debt collectors, they are notorious for re-aging consumer accounts, and very frequently this is done illegally, so please beware. And if you'd like some help, you can get a free credit consultation by calling toll-free 1-877-418-7596. Again, that's for a free credit consultation, and the toll-free phone number is 1-877-418-7596. This is Dan Willis. We're going to include a link in the description below over to an article on our website for the full story. We also have a free report available there, the 7 proven ways to boost your credit score. And of course, subscribe and join our congregation, because coming up next, we're going to be talking about how to settle and pay this debt off, assuming it is validated and it's within the statute of limitations, and how to do it so it will help and improve your credit score. So of course, subscribe and join our congregation. Have a wonderful day, and looking forward to talking to you again here soon.